here to come and talk to you about some more stuff. I'm trying to get my YouTube video to come up right. Hold on. You can go to Eden Zone Boutique on YouTube and find me there. That's where I'm doing most of my videos at now. But today we're just gonna have a question and answer. I'm getting a code from. Oh goodness, not giving me what I need to. Okay, let's see if I can get this right. Okay, let's see if I can use better lights. Let's see. Oh no, that didn't do it. Okay. Let's get this straight. I would never tell you to drop your religion. I believe fully in God. I said that at the beginning. I'm not going to say it again. But that does not stop me from wanting to explore history and find out the truth. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been out there exploring. So each person that might know me, they might be thinking, oh well, she don't know God. I do know God. It's just after learning my true history, learning how religion started, and learning and seeing that mankind has been falling into a continuous loop. I have, sort of resolved that it's going to be us who do the saving instead of looking for a savior. So tonight we're going to talk about how a lot of the art from the past, it shows actual headhunting activity associated with religion. Like, now, if you look at the art of different religions, you're going to see pictures of human sacrifice in every last one of them. So it seems that when you get down to it, everybody wants some human blood. So if that's the will of life and the way things are going to go, first one that I introduced y'all to was the Epic of Gilgamesh, and that is tablet number 12 of the Sumerian text. It's tablet number 12. You don't have to run out and buy an expensive book. You can even get the audio book. You don't have to go out and buy a big old book. You can print the poem out. That's what I do. I don't go out and build a big library right now. I just print the download off on PDF. So I didn't have to buy the Sumerian tablets, I went and I printed the whole Epic of Gilgamesh poem. And it came off of tablet 12 of the Sumerian text. And you can get that yourself. It's talking about things that Gilgamesh did. And when I first spoke to you about the list of the giants, I was telling you that Gilgamesh was the 5th king of Europe. So he was one of the oldest kings on earth, He was just to observe what was going on, chisel it in stone for you. And it was an honor. You had to be trained for a long time to write this stuff, and they didn't make mistakes. I haven't found any mistakes with them. So try that tablet. That is the Epic of Gilgamesh. It's about 9 pages or maybe 12 when you print it out. It's nice. You can read that real quick in one night. Another one that you might want to try is The Descent of Inanna. And this one here is shorter than that. And it talks about Inanna going into the underworld. So I originally started out telling you about shamanism. But in order to really get you to understand, first of all, who you are and why shamanism even existed, I have to let you know where it all started. And some of the things I said might have been offensive to you. I apologize. I believe in God. I surely do. I just don't believe in the middleman. So, I mean, to each his own. But what I can say is I have learned that almost all religions that are the big ones started out with human sacrifice. All you have to do is take the time to look at the art that they have. They have the giants with the humans. They have the giants standing on top of the humans. I mean, they have tales of giants that drank human blood. I mean, they have, and then, they have you thinking that it wasn't so, but it was so. And so I want you to know that. And so, okay, so now we have everybody being forced to do the head hunting so they can do human sacrifice to these creatures. And I'm not pointing at any one religion because it happened to almost all religions. All religions have this history where they was forced to sacrifice people and stuff like that. So it's not just me picking out one group of people. And it's not the purpose of my talking. The purpose of my talking is to tell you that I don't care what kind of human you are. Humans have a third eye that we have not tapped into. And I believe this third eye is responsible for moving stuff like heavy materials. I believe it can be directed if you had the proper tools to direct it. And that's why I was talking about crystals. Because the piezoelectric energy in crystals, they've learned to direct this energy, how the crystals will store something and then piezoelectrically release it. And I wanted to talk to you about that because I believe as humanity, we can collectively use the piezoelectric energy. I haven't figured it all out yet, but I'm sure that the minute you opened your third eye and you went counterclockwise, you weren't able to sleep because it just energized you and rejuvenates you, right? So you see that if you could control the energy that's flowing through you instead of, okay, now, if you went counterclockwise, that is fine too. But counterclockwise will only carry you with the flow of things and will not direct your energy like a bolt. Okay, but if you go clockwise and the energy from the universe is going counterclockwise, you collide with the energy. And at that point, right there, your third eye is there. Boom. And you are not just being a part of the energy. You can harness the energy. So go clockwise, okay? It's much easier to do counterclockwise and go with the flow. But you will never harness the energy going with the flow. Do clockwise, like I say, so you can create a harness here and it comes straight down to you. Okay, people say bring your energy up. I can't feel it like that. I bring my energy through from the universe through and down. So, I don't know, maybe I'm backwards, but I can, harness it better from the top than from the bottom. So I cannot explain that to anyone. Okay, so let's get back to the educational part. Now, okay, so the head hunting, African people, the tribes in Nigeria was head hunting. Certain people have pictures of the head hunting that went on, let me talk about Gobekli Tepe, and maybe it won't offend anybody. Even had a beheaded man at Gobekli Tepe. Even had head hunting going on there where they were worshiping. And I forget, I think it's pillar number 43, 147 or one. It has a bird man. And I know it's a bird man because it has on a necklace with a V like this. And on top of that, it has human feet, but a bird head. Okay, and then it got a human laying there with his head chopped off. I think that bird man on that picture at Gobekli Tepe, which is 15,000 years old, I think that bird man was the man of human sacrifice, you know. And so again, we have human sacrifice being in religion. And so I'm not saying that I don't believe in God. I'm saying that we are so desperate to worship somebody to be willing to sacrifice ourselves. Instead of believing in ourselves and begging on our knees for somebody else to do it, we should recognize that God gave us his energy for us to do it. We just need to find a way to do it. So I've never been the one to try to transfer all of my needs and desires onto the Almighty. Even being baptized Pentecostal since I was 15, I still didn't do that. I just thanked him. And as I got older and I studied and I got my degree in biology and I did my studies, I realized that religion was nothing but like a hidden form of human sacrifice. I did a whole lot of research to come here and tell you this. And I feel comfortable telling you because you can go check it out yourself. You know, you try to teach people and then they want to rebuke. I ain't even got time for it. Like I said, humans were sacrificing themselves. And so now, if you're at a degraded state where you're sacrificing each other, here is where slavery comes in. Because apparently over there in Nigeria and stuff, when you got captured, you got beheaded. It was head hunting. So they hunt your head. All right, now imagine someone saying, well, don't hunt their head. Let me get them. Sell them to me. Slavery, you know, can take hold in that way too. So those two collided, the head hunting and the slave trade. So you have to realize that we weren't doing all that much. Also, you have to realize this. Religion is a practice that you have. Yes, I am Christian. But knowledge also can be a part of it. And by the time you read all these other things, it'll just be like the Bible is another history book. Because if you go read the Torah and the other Bibles and the only ones you know, then you see a whole bigger story than what you've been seeing. And I mean, I don't know if somebody can say you throw God away because you found out the truth. I didn't throw him away. I just realized I don't have to be a part of no religion to get in touch with my God. All I got to do is pray to him. I don't have to fall for the bullying and you this, you that. No, you don't have to fall for that. You can just get directly in touch with your Lord. And he has blessed me greatly. Greatly. I have no woes. I have none. So I want to say to you, you know, if you have woes out there and you was hoping that I could show you how to mess somebody up, I can. But I won't. I made a choice not to do that, you know, and I don't ever want to. So you make a choice. You make a choice if you're going to go over to the other side. I can tell you about the one time that I went that was bad to the other side. I'll tell you what happened. This is truth. This ain't no fictional tale. This is truth. I read this book that a necromancer wrote. It was written by a necromancer. A necromancer is a person who believes he can get in touch with dead people and go on the other side. So I read the book by the necromancer, and I ain't gonna say no names. So I knew that I could just naturally get in touch with people. They'd be coming to see me, whatever. I knew this. So I was like, well, so I don't think this guy really knows what he's talking about, right? So I called myself doing it. Okay, so when I did what he wanted me to do to go to the other side, I'll tell you exactly what happened to me. This was no lie. I went on the other side, and it was just like a smoky, reddish color. There was no sunlight coming from God or nothing. Just like somebody had a red light bulb. You couldn't see nothing through the redness, and then it was smoky red. You couldn't see nothing ahead of you. So I was standing there, and I'm like, ooh, this must be the bad place, you know. I'm always going to be nosy. So let me tell you what I did. I said, I'm standing there, and I'm looking. I'm trying to see who there and where, what's there. How about just some eyeballs come floating up to me? Just eyeballs without a body. I ran so fast and came out of that mess so fast, because if it was just some eyeballs over there, he looking for a body. He was missing a body. I have never ever tried any more stuff like that again. But I have used my third eye, and what I did was I closed. This is an exercise that you can do that I have done, and it might be wrong and it might be bad, but I'm going to tell you how to do it. It's a game you play. All right, you close your eyes. When you close your eyes, you're going to have a faint bit of lightness that you can see in the back of your eyelids. Look into that lightness and focus in on it. And then focus in on it and ease your conscience up to that light. And then go through that light. When you get on the other side, you, all right, will be enlightened, because it raised my consciousness by many levels. The first one I'm going to tell you was the eyeball. That's the one I read a book and did what they said do on the book. It was horrible. The second time I went somewhere on my own, and that's when I busted through that light. That world was purple. It had a sky and sunlight, and it looked sort of serene and desert-like. So I didn't see anything, so I left. I wasn't going to stay long. I went to one place and busted through the light, and it was really sunny. And guess what? They had people that looked like they was insectoid, but they wasn't like an ant. How about it looked like humans with butterfly wings? Yeah. I was like, no way I'm turning into that. And I ran. So I was like, no, you're trying to make me turn into the butterfly. You know, I ran. Then, and I was like, what if this is a place that could be heaven? Because what if, this is the larval stage of your soul, and when you get over there, you got wings. I don't know, but this has happened to me when I went over there. So I'm like, with my third eye, I've opened my third eye, seen light from within with my third eye, literally opened it up and seen light. And when I did so, I followed that light and went on through it and went to another realm. And I've done that several times in my lifetime. So I've done this, and I want you to try it and see, what happens to you. Now, this has nothing to do with religion, and it's not a sin to see if you have a third eye, because humanity has a third eye. Why do you think, this is a point that I wanted you to consider really hard. Why do you think the Anunnakis required the head? Because your weapon of destruction is in there. And the only way to stop you from destroying them is to take your head. Don't you never forget that. Because, see, even in certain instances that I can show you of humanity using their spirit to move stuff and destroy stuff, it happened against the giants in the Bible. Yeah. So they have been able to use their spirit to destroy giants. So now you have to look at this and you have to say, why did those giants want our heads? Why did it have to be the head? Why? Because your weapon is there. This is your weapon. And you don't know how to use it, and they may come back soon. So I'm here trying to teach you how to use your third eye. Sacrifice. And then they started getting more organized with it, and it's been hidden, but human sacrifice didn't go away. But if you go look through all the art of the different cultures, you will see giant people with the head of humans. Why was the head so important? You ever thought it wasn't their gold fillings? What was it? What they want? They wanted you. We were able to use this thing. And we need to learn now, And I've been playing with mine. I'm no professional. But, it's worth a shot. For all humanity. Find out why they needed to take our heads. They needed our heads because these things, when they're together, can be terrible. I believe that's what levitated a lot of stuff. I believe that our minds were controlling all kind of stuff, and we could do a lot with that. Just think, if you can put crystal, if you can put your energy into a crystal and send it out somewhere else with the crystal. Now, the pyramid had a big old crystal on top of it. 1 meter by 1 meter. That's a big crystal. Imagine a crystal 1 meter by 1 meter. Imagine the size of that crystal with the piezoelectricity of the sun beaming through it. And those minds all focused. So how will energy get into the crystal? Right? And it's saying that amber, which is an ancient source of electric current, was one of the first crystals they got energy out of. Now, the piezoelectric effect results from linear electromechanical interaction between the mechanical and electrical states in crystalline materials with no inversion symmetry. Very difficult to understand that. I didn't even understand that. See? That's a difficult definition right there. I didn't even understand that one. I just know that if you squeeze a crystal, electricity will come out. I have found out that you can also, I found out that to get it in, there's different ways to get it in. But, alright, so if you squeeze a crystal, energy comes out. But how did the energy get into the crystal for it to be released? Okay, so all crystals are in a form of vibration, matter that is vibrating within a crystalline form. Okay, and that's what forms the crystal, right? So you can put energy into it by striking it, by ringing bells around it, playing horns around it, any kind of vibration from any kind of movement, sound vibrate. You know how sound creates a vibration wave? Okay, that goes into the crystal and the crystal absorbs it. Okay, electricity, a current. You stick it into the crystal, it's going to hold it. And then when you squeeze the crystal, it's going to come out. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so you can put energy into the crystal and it'll hold it till you squeeze it. And when you squeeze it, it'll come out. So say I'm using my wand and I'm putting my piezoelectric energy into the crystal. Now, it's in the crystal. If I wanted to come out, I would have to squeeze it out and it would come out like a zap. Okay, so I'm just showing you just how piezoelectricity works. Okay, so now you can get it into the crystal with a bell, a chime, striking the crystal, electrical current, all kind of ways to get vibrational energy into the crystal. The thing is getting it out of the crystal. No one has found how to get the energy out of the crystal with their mind. And you've been using the Roman calendar. We've heard it all before, right? Yeah. Okay, so that's not it. It's the lunar calendar. The lunar calendar is what you should be using anyway. Originally, you had the lunar calendar. So, the lunar calendar is what you're going to need in order to even try to count anything. Okay, so the lunar calendar was the first calendar we had, and then they just changed it around a little bit and stuff. But so think about this: if somebody, even if your God said He was coming back in 2,500 years, and then somebody come along and give you a wrong doggone calendar to count the years, and you've been on it since then, do you think you're gonna know when anything is going down? No. You're just going to be a victim. And I'm trying to talk you out of being a victim. So, you know, a lot of your original be a Norseman, right? So, our new thing for this week that we calendar, you're going to see how we kept time since the beginning of time. And then we weren't talking about worshiping no Anunnakis. See? But after we started worshiping the Anunnakis, our calendar became filled with Anunnaki holidays. Original, when you get this lunar calendar, you're going to say, what? Festival holidays? You know what? You're so used to using the Anunnaki the solar calendar, Anunnaki calendar, to when you see the original lunar calendar, it's about harvesting, it's about the equinox, it's about different things like that meant something to life, like weather, stuff like that. It was not about, the calendar was not based on an Anunnaki god. It was based on seasonal, natural things that went on. And also the lunar calendar was also and turned to worshiping the Anunnaki. So you will see that religion was slid in on top of your original things that you did. And getting back to the natural order of things is all I'm suggesting. And that means all of humanity. I'm not talking about black. I'm not talking about white. I'm not talking about yellow. I don't care about all that stuff. What I'm talking about is the fact that humanity went from worrying about the weather, the crops, and everything. That's what they was praying about, to worshiping the Anunnaki. Please don't be mad. But it's true. That's why I'm going to be on here next week with a lunar calendar, and I'm saying it this week so you can go get a copy so we can talk about it. And it will be the first time that I did a live where I talked to somebody. But I want you to see how the original calendar was all about the seasons, the ones that the Sumerian made. It was not about worshiping an Anunnaki. But the calendar you have today is focused around worshiping an Anunnaki. And on top of that, it's a solar calendar when your body is on the lunar calendar. It might cause premature aging. I'm just trying to, show you how far off track we are and how we can't even count the true years because we're now on a totally different year system. I think they said they come back every 3,200 or 3,600. I get mixed up. They come back every so often into the solar system, right? And we're worshiping when they're not here. And then when they get here, they just go ahead and Nobody can't tell me when to get off the phone. That's so stupid. I'll hang up on them again. How done? You know I'm talking all the time. I'm doing this. Why? You got people who don't care. But look. So now, I want to, before I leave today, let me talk to you about the descent of Inanna. Since y'all don't know anything about the Sumerian tablets, and I understand, so I read it many times. So they healed that person, and they healed them believing that the spirit within them will heal that person, whether it be with medicine, magic, or whatever. They feel that as a shaman, that they will get to heal that person. So that's how I feel too, you know. I feel like if people could come to me, I would probably heal them, but you know, it's kind of illegal probably in America. I don't know. So I try to give out as much information as I can and keep y'all doing well. And I ask that you don't eat the hoop. So I do eat, and then of the other ones that you eat, of the other things that you eat like in the morning. A lot of people get up, they want bacon and eggs and grits, you know, when you could get oatmeal, you know, and some fruit, or you could make a smoothie with bananas and stuff, and the oatmeal is high protein. And so you can make a smoothie, throw a little bit of oatmeal in there, get some extra protein. I mean, it's so many things you can do, and you can get salmon. Since fish is on the menu, that is not a wild, you know, a foul beast. You get salmon, and you can get salmon, and salmon has more protein than any of them. So you could get salmon in the morning, have salmon croquet. That's a good thing to eat, and not eat red meat. If you want to know how to keep the parasites out your body, stop eating those hooved animals with parasites that are 10 times bigger than yours. You can start eating fish, turkey, chicken. Yeah, that's the correct food. The red bloody meat, the hooved animals, and all that. He said don't do it. Don't do it. He didn't just say it to be mean. He knew that. Okay, so now, I also would like to say this right here. If you have lupus, you can take food grade diatomaceous earth to work on that. And so now another thing, because it cleans its organs, but another thing I wanted to tell you about, and this is going to be really, really, really strange, but hear me out. So, first of all, let's say when the first man was living 900 years, or almost 1,000 years, Methuselah, all of them, 900 and something years, right? And they were pure vegetarian, right? Now, they started eating meat. Their life was shortened, but that's not the point. The point is that he made us. He put us in a garden, right? And then he said, don't eat this certain stuff, and we still be eating it. So that's one thing. But not only that, they lived longer than we're living by like 10 times, meaning you might even increase your lifespan if you change your diet. Sit there and create residue. People don't want that kind of vitamin. They want a real vitamin. Stupid. Is alfalfa grass, and that's a little bit. You can make it into a tea, boil a tea, or you can put it in your smoothie, or you can sprinkle it somewhere. But it's like taking a multivitamin, and this will digest, whereas the pills don't dissolve. That you get your full multivitamin out of it. So who knew? I like to say that. Who knew that the most natural multivitamin on earth was nothing but a handful of grass? See, that's how far we are off track. That's how far we are away from what he wants us to do. That's it. You know, we are far away from doing what we're supposed to do. The most natural multivitamin that you can get is a handful of all natural alfalfa grass once a day. Who knew? But yet, most years, and this is how they ate for Christianity, to let you know that everybody had this human sacrifice thing going on. I'm gonna be pointing those out, and the monotheistic religions too. So you